It's a great honour to be speaking to such a large gathering of people committed to education, even if today's event is happening remotely. Like so many things these days, we are separate from each other, but also very closely connected. One of the many things Cuba is famous for is the country's huge contribution to education, at home and around the world, throughout the South American continent and in Africa in particular. At the British Council, we share your belief in the power of education to change lives and shape the future. We share that dream. Our mission is to bring people together through sharing culture and the arts, education, the English language, and programs to build communities. All the things that people share in common and on which we can build understanding across national and language borders. We work around the world in over 100 countries, in the higher education sector, in technical and vocational education, in schools, and as you know, as teachers of English. In Latin America and the Caribbean in 2020, we trained 70,000 teachers directly and formed partnerships with 10 countries supporting different aspects of education system reform. It's only through education that people can improve their lives, work effectively with others, and take on the challenges that face us all. But the present times are very difficult for teachers, schools, and students, for everyone involved in the profession of education, in fact. We are doing what we can help the sector through this period. During 2020, many of our projects switched to 100% digital delivery. For example, in Colombia, we run a program with the Ministry of Technology called Colombia Coding for Kids, training teachers online to teach over 500,000 children computational thinking skills and how to code. In Uruguay, we have been taking English language teaching to 80,000 children a year, mostly in rural and hard to reach areas. We've been working in Cuba since 1998 and have helped to establish strong connections between the British and Cuban education sectors. We have signed memoranda of understanding with the Ministry of Education and the Ministry of Higher Education, formalising our role as supporters of education in Cuba. And we have other collaboration agreements with Cuban universities to strengthen our cooperation in English language training. We also enable Cubans to take high-stakes English tests in Cuba, giving them access to higher education opportunities across the world. In the English language speaking Caribbean, 10,000 people each year take professional or university exams facilitated by the British Council. In 2016, the Cuban government introduced its national strategy for English teaching on university students to ensure an A2 level of English in all university graduates. Since then, the British Council has been working in partnership with the Ministry of Education and the Ministry of Higher Education to help achieve this goal through projects such as our English Language Teaching Roadshow and the ELT Conference. We've helped to develop the skills of around 5,000 ELT professionals, and they in turn have spread those skills across their own institutions and students. In Cuba, we are also moving to online platforms to continue working with the new generation of English language teachers along the island through our project in Mentors in Action, where we deliver in partnership with the Ministry of Education and in collaboration with the British Institute, St Giles's Education Trust. Under our agreement with the Cuban Ministry of Education, our English language programme, which also receives support from the UK's Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Office, has reached over 4 million people in total through face-to-face actions, virtual events, and workshops and media coverage. As well as sharing a belief in the power of education, the British Council shares your belief in the power of international collaboration. We were created more than 80 years ago to help international conversations to happen, and it's clear to me that such conversations have never been more important. Great scientific challenges like the coronavirus won't be solved without international collaboration. And if we think about feeding the world's people, or the threat of global heating, or the need for sustainable development, it's obvious that we will need to harness the world's intellectual power. No one nation or group of nations can do it alone. The entire human family needs to be involved. The year 2020 was difficult for us all, and we faced many of the same challenges in 2021, even with the arrival of vaccines and testing regimes. I won't make any forecasts about the future. Any predictions I could make would probably only echo what you yourselves are thinking. What I will say is that while many of the short-term solutions to the challenges of 2020 involved extending the reach of our digital connections, and while those technologies have been hugely beneficial, it's essential not to lose sight of the human connection. That's the connection between teacher and student, between friend, and between nation and nation. It comes down to one person meeting and understanding another. That's the vital spark, whether you are in the same room or on the same video call. The quality of the human connection is what counts. And that is why language learning is so important. Having a common language is one of the best ways to ensure that a connection is loud and clear. That's why I believe the work that the British Council does in Cuba is so important. It's important for relations between our two countries and for relations between individual Cubans and British people. And despite all my worries about the year 2021, I am confident that those good connections will see us through. I wish you all a very successful Pedagogia 2021, and I hope that one day, in a better future, I may meet some of you in person. Thank you very much.